here's a question for the Israelite woman.
Bring it out.
Do you find yourself rebelling when your husband's trying to be the head of the household?
Oh, wait. I gotta press.
I don't need y'all to say nothing to me, but
bring it out. Within yourself.
Within your mind. Do you find yourself rebelling when your husband is trying to apply the scriptures of God and not lead the household, but be the head of you?
Come and take shelter. Come and take shelter. Kick one of these devils. Round by myself, no test. Still ain't found. Business no.
Cause an Israelite woman ain't like no other. We obey our laws, manage our homes, and still make time for love and growth.
When people call you extra, just look them in their face and say, am I extra or are you basic?
Outfit dress, hinges on me just to impress. Watch me style it, bold and fearless. Them a watch me like them obsessed. Oh me, oh my, I just go come from the most high. Oh me, oh my, hinges on and me look too fly.
In the building, popping the screws like what is 12. Clap your hands for yourself. Made it hot, start to sweat, slow down, catch my breath. Crowd jumping like 2-3, bout that action like movies. Things is getting real groovy. Israelites be a sight to see. Booty dance like a binge bite. Turn it up like all night. Shining bright like a headlight. We won't stop until we see the daylight. We got the Jews in the building, popping the screws out the ceiling. Treat the old man like a villain. Please come out of your feelings. You know the elders be chilling. Turn up on a million. They can't see, they gon' feel it. We finna groove like a thriller. We got the Jews in the building, popping the screws out the ceiling. Treat the old man like a villain. Please come out of your feelings. You know the elders be chilling. Turn up on a million. They can't see, they gon' feel it. We finna groove like a thriller. 12, some 12.
I want to give all the praises and the honor to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Recha HaKodash, and double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of Great Millstone. Honors as well to you, brethren, all you believers of this truth. And this topic is going into the sisters, so shalom to you, sincere ones as well, wherever you may be, and shalom to the elect. So anyway, seen quite a few videos with rapping women in videos. Now it's like just getting out of hand because you men, you camps, there's certain camps and men that just will not, get their eaves in order. So anyway, to go into this lesson, put the clips in here with the rapping women and the fashion of the Israelites. So then where do you draw the line of where do you go? Where do you draw the line with what's modest and what's not modest, right? Where do you draw the line? Because there's no gray area in the middle. It's either you're modest or you're not modest, right? So a lot of these leaders of these camps are afraid, I believe anyway. Maybe some of them can't watch them all, I don't know. But I watched the IUIC in their Passover. This Jake was going around filming, and his eyes got caught with a woman wearing all white, showing her curves, and showing everything, although she had a dress. So where do you draw the line? Is just wearing a dress good enough? Absolutely not. And a lot of these women are vain. We know this. They can't stop taking pictures of themselves. They can't stop looking in the mirror. And to some degree, that's just what it is. You're not going to stop that. But there's a time and a place when it comes to order. And now they're parading themselves all over the internet. And they're showing their curves and their figures. Because that's what it's still all about to these women. Right? And this is what, breeds the adultery. Right? This is what breeds the adultery. If you're a man and you see your woman is dressing like that, you have to say, look, you're going out in the public, you're dressing like that. I'm talking about in these Israelite schools. And they dressing like that, going into them schools. That's a breed for adultery. Now, I was watching Elder Apostle Tahar's video on Matthew 5 and 28, something like that. We'll get that in a second on what is lust, because a lot of Christians believe, well, you look at a woman, if you look at a woman and it's lust, you done committed adultery, and that's absolutely false. That's, I know he probably didn't have time to go into that. He did go into it a little bit, but I'm going to go into it some more. Okay, this is called the woman instruction. In like manner also that women adorn themselves, 1 Timothy 2 and 9, women adorn themselves in modest apparel with shamefacedness, right? Is this shamefacedness? Right? And sobriety, broided hair, or gold, or pearls, or costly array, right? Here we go. Let's go to this word, shamefacedness, right? Let's see what it says. It says a sense of shame or honor, modesty, bashfulness, reference, regard for others' respect, and mainly your husband. Your husband's respect. Now, again, we live in Babylon, and Babylon has so many broken rules, so to speak, that you get confused or what's righteous and what's not. Right? It's all confusing. So let me read that again. It says the woman instructed, in like manner also the women adorn themselves in modest apparel with shamefacedness and sobriety, not with broided hair or gold or pearls or costly array. And this is what we see, and we've seen this in Babylon, right? This is nothing new under the sun. This is why Paul gave these instructions, and this is Timothy, these instructions to the churches, because of the woman, what they were doing. And dressing like that and behaving like that, what it did is breed adultery. And not only just adultery, with different forms of it, right? They would have the man, a man would have them, and they'll see another woman they like, and they would drop the woman that they have and go with the other woman who was also with another man. So he was totally going off, right? And, I'm not saying all the women in them schools are not sincere. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is there's no serious instruction. I think they feel that if somebody's at the door and somebody's judging them, say a woman is judging them on what they're wearing, okay, that fits, that doesn't fit. You can't come in here like that. These women going to get upset. They're driven off of tension. This is all they do. I'm looking on the internet. This is all they do. All the makeup, all the gold, the big earrings, the pearls, right? The eyeshadow, the shape. Some of them even got cleavage showing. I didn't even put them up. It's insane. This is a question I got off the internet, or actually a comment. It says, the Bible with its useful guide to has not kept up with changing attitudes. Right? When the Lord said not to deal with them, to give it to change. What's more unseemly 150 years ago, 150, we talking about much longer than that, is thankfully not so now. People and I am guessing that you are looking to control the clothing choices of girls and women. Right? This is what they're saying. This is the problem when a society is completely out of order. You mean to tell me, as a parent, you're not supposed to control the choice of what your girl is putting on? Your little daughter? I've seen booty shorts in Walmart for little 5-year-olds. It's out of control. There's no order. Nowhere, no society or any place on earth that anything is supposed to be out of control. Hell, they got laws, right, to obey the speed limits. They got laws to pay your bills, to pay your taxes. They got laws that you can't harm people, right? But for whatever reason, things that breed to sicknesses, they don't have no issue with. Anyway, women should be allowed to wear whatever clothing they believe is appropriate. See what's happening? Right? It is time that what one might describe as the Bible thumping party of society stop trying to control the lives of girls and women. How's it working out? I wanted to ask him that question. How's it working out? You can wear what you want. You got your spandies, the string up the behind, right? So since when did fashion become porn? Is what it is. Is that okay to wear? But according to this society, that means, you know what this is saying? That means nobody keeps watch over the young girls, man. Nobody cares what happens to them. Nobody cares what kind of attention they put out, what kind of mindset they're in, and what kind of attention they're going to attract. Now their bodies and their breasts and behinds have become more important than who they are themselves. That's what the society is downsized to, has degraded to, right? It is time that one might describe as the Bible-thumping party society stop trying to control the lives of little girls. How a girl and woman wants to conduct her life is up to her. Okay. Stop trying to embed the handmaid tale into this society. Not at all we're going to try to do that in this society. That ain't going to work. But it will come a time where things will change. Right? So don't try to control anybody, right? Just let the government control you on what you can say, you know, what you can do, you know, various other things. But when it comes to the Bible, there is no moral laws kept. In other words, just do what you want. Hell, they changing genders. At 5, they can't go to McDonald's by themselves, but they can say, hey, I don't want to be this sex. And everybody's for it. Your care team leaders and your psychiatrists and your doctors, they all got to agree with it. That's why we're standing up. Okay? Anyway, I think modest means not accentuating your curves, male and female, and not revealing private areas. This is somebody else. I think modest means not insinuating your curves, right? Male and female, and not revealing your private areas. I believe modest can still be fashionable and attractive. And see, there we go again. Anyway, enough on that. Let's go to Matthew 5 and 28. It says, but I say unto you that whosoever, Elder Apostle said that vocab Malone and the Christians, they don't know the Bible. You know, they claim they do. They don't do extensive research or going deep in the scriptures, right? It say, but I say unto you that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her committeth adultery with her already. That's what it says here. So, in other words, all of us that got here under a sexual act, even Joseph, they don't believe Joseph had sex with Mary, but let's see, Boaz, right? With Ruth. How did David get here? You know? I mean, how did his line come in? I mean, this is crazy. So in other words, everybody sinned when they looked on their partner to lust after her. But we're going to go further into it. When you look at the precepts, look at the precepts to this. Exodus 20 and 7. We're going to read a couple of precepts. These is what you call cross references. You shall not covet your neighbor's house. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife, or his manservant or maidservant, or his ox, donkey, or anything that belongs to your neighbor. That's Exodus 20 and 17. We also have Leviticus 18 and 20. You must not lie carnally with your neighbor's wife, thus defile yourself with her. These are all the precepts that for whatever reason the Christians took this and said, hey, you're not to... I had a Muslim say that. That's why Muslims, they don't know a damn thing either. Yeah, the Bible say you're not supposed to lust after. And I always ask, well, how the hell did you get here? Deuteronomy 22 and 20. So in other words, you can't lust. You can lust at any woman you want as long as she don't belong to anybody. If your bag is a 300-pound woman, and that's your bag, and she's a woman and she doesn't belong to anybody, you can lust after her. If that's your thing. If she's a 100-pound woman, 6 feet, 6'2", right? As long as she a woman and don't have a man, you can lust after her. Deuteronomy 22 and 22. If a man is found lying with another man's wife, both the man who slept, right, with her and the woman must die. You must purge the evil from Israel. So it's different forms of adultery. Even when we, what Phineas did to the man with the javelin, you know, who followed other gods. Because when you follow other gods, what they don't go into when you follow other gods, they start going into different things, right? And the minute you start, kind of like when you sell out and you take that oath and you go into that door, it ain't you just signing the papers that does it. I mean, that does it. But right then and there, you're done, because the acts you got to go through with it changes everything, right? So it ain't just the fact that, okay, you start worshiping another god, but when you start worshiping that other god, it's other consequences with that. It's things you have to do, right? I'm going to read the old translation. This is the John Wycliffe Bible of 1382. This is what it says. It says, but ye see you that every man that seeth a woman for to covet her have now do lechery by her in her sight, in his heart. Right? So this is where the word here, covet, makes it clean, makes it clear. You're coveting a woman that belongs to someone else. And this is why we go back to Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy 22 and 22, or Exodus 27, ye shall not covet your neighbor's house. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife. Right? Coveting goes to something that doesn't belong to you. A woman that has no husband is free, to get. And then once you get, no other man is supposed to lust after her. Let's go into a little commentary. The Matthew Poole's commentary. This says, thou shalt not, this is talking about committing adultery. In this is very verse. It says, the law saith, or Savior, your doctors expound, I guess something like that. You shall not carnally lie with a woman that is not your wife. See, they already went to the precepts in these commentaries, right? In Exodus 20 and 14, right? But there is a great deal more in it than so. For he that but secretly in his heart desireth such a thing, or taketh pleasure in such thoughts, and cast his eyes upon a woman in order to do such a thing, in the sight of God, he is an adulterer. Hence we need eyes full of adultery, okay? To avoid, Job made a covenant with his eyes, and will not suffer his heart to walk after his eyes. We must so interpret commandments of God as not to extend them only to forbid or command those acts which are plainly mentioned in them, but the inward pleasing of our hearts, and such things as are forbidden, the desire of our hearts after them whatsoever is probable, means to give us that sinful pleasure of our thoughts, or further inflame such unlawful desires in souls, in our souls. So this is, get to the point of why I'm doing this video and get back on track with the whole point of the adultery that we just saw in the IUIC. And that's what's been made known, right? But who knows how many other incidents is happening that we don't know about. But how is this bred? I can't say whether what this woman was wearing, right? Who was ranking who, but this is a cesspool breed for adultery. I'm looking at these videos now, and you see some of these attractive women, right? And they're wearing these things, and they're making their fashion to be more attractive. When the majority of them, or I believe a lot of them, have husbands. And if they have husbands, you know, they're not supposed to be parading themselves all over the internet. That's what it says in the book of Titus, to teach them to be sober, keepers at home. Right? What is that, in Titus 1 or Titus 2? Let me go there real quick. I think it's Titus 2. That's what they're supposed to be doing. Right? I think it's Titus 2 and 1. The aged woman likewise, that they be good behavior, become of holiness, not false accusers, not giving too much wine, teachers of good things, that they may teach the young woman to be sober and to love their husbands and to love their children. To be fair, I saw a couple of clips of the IUIC, the ones that call themselves the Daughter of Sarah, and they had a couple of young women on there, young women, 12, 13, 11, and they was fully covered with no curves showing. So why is that? But the mothers are. You see what I'm saying? Our people are addicted, addicted to the mindset, especially the women. They're addicted to attraction and attention. So to be fair, some of those women in there and some of the children are covered up. So you might think that I have a hatred towards the IUIC. I have a hatred towards all the Israelite sisters. Not at all. But when you promote yourself, you're on TikTok, you're on YouTube, you're making rap videos. Now you're not being sober, right? You're not being holiness. It says to be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to their own husbands, that the word of God be not blasphemed. And now you got men talking about, you Israelite women, you're not in control. You're not doing this. You're not doing that. I was at Great Millstone. We don't have that problem. Right? Our situations is isolated. The men are just out to do and bring in, because it starts with the men, right? But these women are in the coattails of these men trying to get attention, trying to get a little fame, right? And that breeds adultery. See, you Jakes think you got your women in check because they're an Israelite woman. No, you look at the history of what Paul was going through. Yahushua was saying. There's history. And Ecclesiastes 1:9 says there's no new thing under the sun. And that example of that adulterous behavior that happened at IUIC proves that. That proves that it's bigger than wearing fringe dresses. The fringe dresses. Just so they can go into the bathroom, lift them up, and a man can pull his joint out with a fringe shirt. This is what's been happening. So we know it's bigger than that. That's why we need Yahushua. Yahushua, like if we could keep the laws, and it was all about the laws, which we are supposed to keep the laws to the best of our ability, but if we could keep the laws and we made it perfect, then we wouldn't need Yahushua. That's why he's there, to cover us. Because more so than those fringes, we need to have our spirit corrected, right? And not have the lust of adultery. But then you got women wearing this with all the makeup and the glamour and the glitz, showing her curves. The majority of men going to look at her. And they might look away. But if she in that class every week, she's looking good, this is what I see. They throwing on perfume and those good oils and smells. Come on, man. You Jakes better wake up. There's no gray area, man. That's all I have on that. Shalom.